Luka's revenge on the Mavs was a movie.
You hang up the phone the night you're traded, and you threw it.
Yes.
Do you have that phone?
2 months ago, Luka Doncic was the face of the Dallas Mavericks, a generational talent, a franchise icon, the team Luka thought he would spend his entire career with. 2 months later, he's living out a reality that no one saw coming. This wasn't just another game, it was a statement. Luka walked into the American Airlines Center for the first time in his career as a visitor, and what he did was superhuman.
Dončić, who now wears those colors, and the numbers will get it right back. Luka, three, got it! Dončić again, drive, kick, Rui, got it!
His ability to then go perform, lights turn on, he's teary-eyed still as we walk out on the court for the tip ball. To have the emotional resolve to then go put on that kind of performance, it's superhuman.
Luka put up 31 points in the first half alone. He became the second player in NBA history to score 45 points with and against the same team in a single season. There couldn't have been a better revenge moment than this, and it gets even better. But before we can get to that point, we need to understand this first.
General manager Nico Harrison of the Dallas Mavericks, he had this closed door, no cameras meeting with reporters. The reporter said, "You didn't believe that the team that went to the finals last year with Luka as a centerpiece could contend and continue to contend for championships." And Nico Harrison said, "I'll say this again, defense wins championships." What do you say to that?
It's just sad in the way he's talking right now.
Mavericks fans didn't just cheer for Luka. They still believed in him and they still loved him. But love like that, it's rare, and the Mavs franchise threw all of that away. What the Mavs franchise lost sight of was loyalty over a banner, because an NBA title led by Luka was that much more valuable to Dallas fans than a title won at the cost of losing him. Setting aside the highly questionable logic that Dončić couldn't ever deliver a title, the display the basketball world witnessed in Dallas was a population that prefers its superstar over a championship. The fans gave the impression they'd rather go through the next decade riding with Dončić as he tries to get it done than to capture one without him. Nobody cared about Nico's vision, even if there was some logic to it, adding one of the best two-way players in the league with Kyrie and Klay. But the problem was, Nico wanted a banner, but the fans wanted Luka. And on Luka's return, that's exactly what they got.
Number 77!
As the Maverick introduction saved Luka for last, you know what was about to happen. It wasn't the shirts that said thank you for everything that got Luka. It was the emotional tribute video.
Get that through all those defenders. Oh, baby. I do like your coffee. With a little Kareem.
Watching Luka's face during this time brought out so many emotions from every angle. Tears in his eyes, his lips quivering, trying to hold back more tears, and then burying his face in his towel. But as they announced number 77, the crowd erupted louder than when they cheered for their own team. Luka left it all on the court that night. The crazy part about this was he didn't even know whether he'd be able to play.
So many emotions, can't even explain it. I don't know how I did it, because when I was watching that video, I was like, there's no way I'm playing this game.
This game was nothing like you'd ever seen before. Mavs fans cheered for both teams. When the Mavs scored, they cheered. When Luka scored, they cheered. The opposing team wasn't the Lakers. It was the one Mavs fans booed all game. If anything, you probably spent time counting how many times people chanted, "Fire Nico." People who hated the Lakers cheered for the Lakers all because they wanted this game for Luka. And right from the first quarter, Luka went off.
All the energy looking towards number 77. The Don underneath trying to deliver some magic.
I mean, the guy had 14 points in the first 12 minutes. But you know, he's more than just about putting up points. His gameplay spoke for itself.
Top 30 Smith. Step back, three-pointer in the corner. That's good. Connects. And then the dime. This is what people know.
Simply put, there was no stopping this man.
But there are a lot of Laker fans here. And they're always on the road. It's Dončić.
Because the second quarter was an absolute takeover with Luka's 17 points.
Loaded. He's as shocked as everybody. They leave it for Dončić.
And no matter what the Mavs tried, Luka broke through their defense with his typical finesse like it was just a pickup game.
Not the first time he's faced his former team as he lays it up and in. Nobody.
Remember, it was Nico's idea that defense wins championships. But the way Luka walked through this team, Nico was in for a reality check. Like, let's run this play back for a second.
Dončić Open man again is Finney Smith.
Luka walks in from the top with Max Christie guarding him, pulls Derek Lively in for the double team, and also Spencer Dinwiddie for extra precaution. And now we've got Dorian Finney-Smith camping out in the corner, completely wide open, and then Luka does what he does best.
Right to the rim. Finney-Smith hits a three.
And from there, he just kept cooking.
That's his second basket of the evening.
Reverse slam by who else?
Mavericks apart.
Luka, another three. Yes!
By halftime, it felt like justice took its place, and yet Luka wasn't done.
4-on-2. Luka behind the back. Rui on its way.
You have got a major issue if you're the back line.
Underneath. Thrown up and in.
Every possession looked like revenge in motion. Nothing was wasted. Just Luka picking apart the team he once loved. And well, obviously still does. But overall, it was a night for closure. And the way fans cheered Luka on every time he touched the ball, it was like he never left. Like we said, it was a historical night because it was everything you expected and more. And by the end of the game, it was another near triple-double. 45 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists, shooting 16 for 28 from the field and 7 for 10 from 3.
Not tonight, Dallas. I'm a member of the Lakers, and we're going away with a victory.
And after Luka's final shot, the crowd cheered as Luka checked out for pretty much the rest of the game. But the depth of this game didn't start here. Remember the first game between the Mavs and Lakers back in February at Crypto Arena? It was Luka's 5th game with the Lakers after being gutted from the trade, and it took some time to find his footing again. But by his 5th game against his former team, something clicked. 34 points, 12 rebounds, 14 assists, and a win. Luka had a triple-double, danced around his former teammates, threw no-look dimes, and hit fadeaways like it was 2019 all over again. But there was no celebration, no emotion. The way he looked at the bench, the way he looked at Nico Harrison. You could tell a storm was coming to Dallas, and it was going to hit hard. Luka wasn't smiling. This wasn't revenge, not yet. That was just the warm-up. And that was what added depth to Luka's return. But to take it a step even further, less than 24 hours after the game, Luka stayed in Dallas instead of flying back with the team, just to host an event for local youth basketball players and fans on the release of his Luka 4 shoes. He spent time with fans, signed autographs, and even worked as a cashier for a little bit. He didn't have to do this, but instead, he showed up and invested in people's lives. This move alone trumped every single idea the Mavericks franchise could come up with to justify trading Luka. We know the NBA is a business. It always has been. And trades happen. Fans want trades, players want trades, and sometimes a fresh start is what's needed when things aren't working out. But most of the time, you can see it coming. There's a runway, a buildup, a warning, and everyone starts to brace for the inevitable. Look at Klay Thompson's situation just last year. Miserable in Golden State, relationships were starting to run their course. Tension was taking its place. You get the picture. But with Luka, there was no warning, no soft landing, just a gut punch out of nowhere.
Was your intention to finish your career in Dallas?
Of course. It's an easy question.
He didn't get to mentally prepare. The fans had no idea, and in 24 hours, he was in a press conference with a Lakers jersey. That's a hard pill to swallow. Fans left in absolute disbelief. The franchise cornerstone gone for a 32-year-old Anthony Davis, draft compensation, and a bag of uncertainty. It still doesn't feel real. Luka Doncic not in a Mavericks jersey? That sentence alone sounds like NBA blasphemy. But the way Luka handled the situation couldn't have gone any better. Luka showed real emotion, and a fire broke out inside of him that will make him more dangerous than ever.